Hello folks and welcome. We are here at the Twix Raceway for the Twix 220. We have a great lineup of cars, 43 cars to be exact. It is a full field here, ready to give you a great show today. Twix has sponsored this track since 1990, and we've had a ton of great finishes here, some we might see later on. And so we're hoping to get another one here today. Tony Stewart led the field this time in qualifying. He dominated, beating second place Casey Kane by almost half a second, and it was a great qualifying run for him. So as they roll off on the pace laps, we take a look at the lineup. Stewart's first, Kane is second, Jimmy Johnson and Clint Bowyer are in the second row, Juan Pablo Montoya and Matt Kenseth both looking to make runs today, Kyle Busch and Joey Logano, and then Martin Truex Jr. and Casey Mears are your top 10. Greg Biffle and Eric Almirola are in row 6, Paul Menard and Brad Keselowski are in row 7, Marcus Ambrose and Kurt Busch are in row 8. Jamie McMurray and Boris Said are row 9. And David Rudiman and Kevin Harvick are your top 20. Denny Hamlin and Mike Bliss are next, followed by Austin Dillon and Sam Hornish Jr. Then we have Travis Kvapil and Carl Edwards, David Reagan and Danica Patrick, Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton, both who had disappointing qualifying runs, David Gilliland and Cole Witt, Dale Jr. and Mark Martin, Bobby Labonte and Ryan Newman, who was hoping for a top 10 qualifying here, Trevor Bayne and Robbie Gordon, J.J. Yaley and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Terry Labonte and Michael McDowell, and Joe Nemechek rounds out your field of 43. So we're ready for the green here. Tony Stewart and Casey Kane lead him off. Kane gets a huge jump on the restart as the whole field flies by. A quick flyby of the 43-car field here at Twix Motor Speedway. And we're getting word that Casey Kane's going to have to make a pass-through penalty because he got such a jump on that restart they deemed it illegal. A horrible start for Kane, really unlucky there. Stewart is taking the lead anyways, but Kane's going to have to come into the pits right here as Jimmy Johnson pulls into second, Juan Pablo Montoya third, and we have some tight battles there. Stewart's pulled out to a nice lead, but we got some good battles throughout the rest of the field as we get another flyby here. Another gap opening in the middle of the field, some 3 wide battles there. Joe Nemechek's going to take his car to the garage already. I think he has engine troubles as we start lap 3 of 18 here at Twix. Oh, we get trouble. Greg Biffle almost goes around, but he saves it. Oh, big trouble. Car's flipping over. J.J. Yaley's car absolutely destroyed. And on the third lap here at Twix Motor Speedway, Michael McDowell and J.J. Yaley make a huge collision. Ambulance coming to take Yaley away. We hope he's okay. That was a really hard wreck there. That car is completely totaled. Let's take a look at the replay as it looks like, yes, Robbie Gordon gets in to the back bumper there of J.J. Yaley right in front of Michael McDowell, nowhere for him to go. And then he just hits him. The car gets completely destroyed and pieces fly everywhere. He loses all of his tires, it looks like. He loses his hood. It just total chaos on this track right now. And the main hope is that J.J. Yaley's okay. You see the tires fly off there, hit Terry Labonte's car. He might have some damage as well. And just total destruction here. And as they get that all cleaned up, we're ready for the restart now. So Tony Stewart and Joey Logano now lead him off to the line. Logano gets the jump on Stewart. He's had trouble with restarts, but Stewart once again pulls back out front. Lots of tight 2-wide battles here. Oh, Jimmy gets loose on the outside. He loses a bunch of spots. Matt Kenseth and Joey Logano now up front. Oh, trouble at the front. The leaders collide. Matt Kenseth is taken out here. Greg Biffle involved. Also, Joey Logano and Juan Pablo Montoya get in. Let's take a look at the replay and see what happened here. It looks like Biffle tries to cut in front of Jimmy, no room, and that's one of the problems they had when making this track. They are afraid of this, is that cars would get in trouble. It looked like Clint Bowyer got clipped, and he and Jimmy Johnson will both make pit stops. Everyone else who was involved heading back to the garage. Going to have a restart with totally new leaders here. Tony Stewart, Marcus Ambrose, Martin Truex Jr., and Paul Menard lead him off. Ambrose with a huge jump. Stewart just cannot restart today. Ambrose continues to lead. Stewart hasn't gotten his lead back as you get a full field view. And a bunch of tight 3-wide battles here. Oh, Gilliland gets loose, almost gets into Bobby Labonte, but they survive. Still 3-wide. Tough battles here. Dale Jr. Okay, and we get back up to the front now. Marcus Ambrose leading Paul Menard and Tony Stewart. Tony couldn't get back out to the lead this time. We'll see if he can catch up, and he makes a nice run there as there's the lap traffic of Bowyer. He's back out on track as we get a close-up view here around the turn. Marcus Ambrose, Tony Stewart, Martin Truex Jr. leading the field. Everyone flying by. Casey Mears still solid in that top 10. Surprising run for him today. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Jimmy Johnson making some ground up from that early wreck. Here comes on board with Tony Stewart as he chases down Marcus Ambrose. They also pass the lap traffic of Kenseth there. Ambrose continues to lead. Harvick's going to try to make a pass on Stewart, and he does. We're on lap 12 of 18, two-thirds of the way through here. Harvick wants to catch up to Ambrose for this lead here. Oh, and he gets him loose. Harvick passes. Stewart passes. Ambrose drops down to third, trying to stay with him. Harvick has the lead now. Tony Stewart all over his bumper as we get another flyby. Everyone filing by. Carl Edwards making up a lot of ground, so as Boris said. Oh, and we have trouble at the front. Austin Dillon. Young guy was having a great race. He was running up in 5th or 6th. And then it looks like he just gets clipped from Eric Almirola there and slides through the grass. Nothing he can do about that one. So let's take a flashback now to February 28th, 2003. They had a restart with 2 laps to go. Tony Stewart was the leader just like today. He led with Jeff Gordon, and he gets a good jump on the restart this time. And then as we enter the final turns, Tony continues to lead. Rusty Wallace, Dale Jr., and Gordon right behind him. And then Jr. gets into Stewart and causes a huge wreck with Rusty Wallace. Stewart ends up upside down on the wall, and Rusty's car is totaled. Jeff Gordon goes on to win the race, but Dale Jr. gets into Tony Stewart. So last time Stewart started here with a couple laps to go at the front, it did not end well for him. We'll see if it ends better this time. We have a restart with 3 to go now. Tony Stewart and Kevin Harvick lead the field. Tony chooses the other lane. Oh, Almirola gets spun, but he saves it. A great save from Almirola. And Tony continues to lead. Kyle Busch making a run out of nowhere. We haven't seen much of him today, but he's up there now. Carl Edwards also making a nice run. He's up to 3rd. It's now Kyle, Tony, and Carl at the front. A 3-car battle. Here's on board with Carl Edwards as he tries to chase down the leaders. He looks like he has a bump on the inside. He gets it. He's side by side with Kyle Busch. They pass him. Tony Stewart. Oh, Tony gets into Carl. Carl's tire goes down, and that's the end of his day. He was running up front, and now Jeff Gordon leads. 1 lap to go. No cautions anymore. Jeff Gordon leads. Ambrose, Kyle, and Stewart right on his tail. Can anyone catch Gordon? Ambrose and Kyle are right there. We'll see who can catch up to him. Ambrose trying to make the pass. Can't get there. Kyle Busch. Ambrose takes to the inside. Gordon blocks him off. We're getting into the final turn now. Gordon cuts him off. Gordon blocks, and Kyle Busch wins it. Kyle Busch comes out of nowhere to catch back up and win the race. Jeff Gordon, huge disappointment, but I think he still crossed the line in time to be 3rd. We have 3 other cars, Jeff Burton, Kurt Busch, and Mark Martin, who just got taken out at that final turn there in the last lap. They all get DNFs for today. So let's take a look at the replay first. Kyle gets into Stewart a little bit, and then he just hits Edwards perfectly to pop that tire, and that ends at Edwards' bid at the win. And then Gordon comes down to block Ambrose. He gets spun and slows down Ambrose in the process. Kyle Busch takes the victory. And Jeff Gordon, as I said, finishes 3rd. A nice, solid comeback for Jimmy Johnson, who comes to finish 8th after that wreck early on. Casey Kane comes back from the pit penalty to finish 9th, and Casey Mears is 10th. Ryan Newman had a nice, solid finish in 11th after starting towards the rear of the field. Boris Said had a great day, finishing 16th at the road course. David Reagan the same, 17th. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was at the back of the pack most of the day, but he finished 20th. Sam Hornish Jr. and David Gilliland both had great runs today in the mid-20s. Danica Patrick was 27th. Cole Witt and Terry Labonte, some of the last cars on the lead lap, had solid days and avoided all the trouble. They finished 29th and 30th. Robbie Gordon is your last car on the lead lap, and then Mark Martin, Kurt Busch, and Jeff Burton all didn't finish on that last lap. Clint Boyer was 1 lap down. Matt Kenseth was 3. They are both involved in that early wreck. And then 41st was J.J. Yaley with that horrible wreck, and we have gotten word that he is okay, which is a great sign. Joe Nemechek finishes last today. Kyle Busch celebrates at Twix Motor Speedway. What a race. It has been a great day, and we'll see you next time from Twix Motor Speedway.